Welcome to Hollywood Secrets Information. In this video, we are going to explore 10 of the most controversial films of the 1940s that shocked audiences and pushed the boundaries of early cinema. These movies didn't just entertain. They challenged social norms, broke censorship rules, and introduced bold new storytelling techniques that changed filmmaking forever. From groundbreaking masterpieces to scandalous productions, each film on this list carries a unique story of risk, innovation, and impact. Whether it's daring political satire, experimental visuals, or deeply emotional themes, these films prove that cinema could be far more powerful than anyone imagined at the time. So, get ready to step back into the golden era of Hollywood and discover the movies that dared to be different and left a lasting mark on film history. 1. Citizen Kane, 1941. Directed by Orson Welles, Citizen Kane is widely regarded as one of the most groundbreaking films ever made and also one of the most controversial of its time. The film tells the story of Charles Foster Kane, a powerful newspaper magnate whose life mirrors that of real-life media tycoon William Randolph Hearst, which sparked major backlash. Hearst reportedly tried to suppress the film's release, banning it from his newspapers and theaters. Technically, the film revolutionized cinema with deep-focus cinematography, innovative lighting techniques, and nonlinear storytelling that allowed audiences to piece together Kane's life from multiple perspectives. Its bold critique of wealth, power, and the illusion of the American dream challenged traditional Hollywood narratives, making it both a critical masterpiece and a controversial cultural landmark that influenced generations of filmmakers. 2. The Great Dictator, 1940. In The Great Dictator, Charlie Chaplin took a daring political stand by openly mocking Adolf Hitler at a time when the world was still grappling with the rise of fascism. Released before the United States entered World War II, the film was controversial for its direct satire of Nazi ideology and its fearless criticism of dictatorship. Chaplin played a dual role as a Jewish barber and as the tyrant Adenoid Hinkle, using humor, parody, and powerful symbolism to expose the absurdity and danger of totalitarian regimes. The film's final speech, a heartfelt plea for humanity, democracy, and peace, broke away from Chaplin's traditional silent comedy style and stunned audiences with its emotional depth. While some critics felt it was too political, the film ultimately became a landmark in cinematic history, proving that film could be both entertaining and a powerful tool for social commentary. 3. Fantasia, 1940. Produced by Walt Disney, Fantasia was an ambitious and highly experimental film that pushed the boundaries of animation and storytelling. Unlike traditional cartoons, the film combined classical music with abstract and narrative animation, featuring compositions from legends like Johann Sebastian Bach and Igor Stravinsky. One of the most controversial segments, The Rite of Spring, depicted the violent and realistic extinction of dinosaurs, which shocked audiences expecting lighthearted entertainment. Additionally, the film introduced groundbreaking techniques such as stereophonic sound, Fantasound, immersive visuals, and surreal imagery that challenged conventional filmmaking norms. While some critics found it confusing or too avant-garde, Fantasia ultimately redefined animation as a serious art form and paved the way for future experimental cinema. 4. Rebecca, 1940. Directed by Alfred Hitchcock, Rebecca is a haunting psychological drama that stirred controversy with its dark themes of obsession, identity, and manipulation. Based on a novel by Daphne du Maurier, the film follows a young bride overshadowed by the lingering presence of her husband's deceased first wife. What made the film controversial was its subtle handling of murder, deceit, and moral ambiguity, especially under the strict Hays Code, which restricted explicit depictions of crime and immorality. Hitchcock cleverly used shadows, lighting, and psychological tension to imply darker truths without directly showing them, particularly in the character of Maxim de Winter. The film's gothic atmosphere and complex narrative pushed the boundaries of what audiences were accustomed to, making it both a critical success and a bold step forward in suspense storytelling. 5. The Outlaw, 1943. The Outlaw, directed by Howard Hughes, became one of the most controversial films of the 1940s, primarily its provocative marketing and portrayal of sexuality. The film starred Jane Russell, whose appearance and costumes were deliberately emphasized in promotional materials, shocking audiences and drawing criticism from censorship boards. The Hays Code objected strongly to the film's suggestive content, delaying its wide release for several years. Hughes even designed special costumes and camera techniques to highlight Russell's figure, which was considered highly inappropriate at the time. Despite its relatively simple Western storyline, the film gained massive attention due to its scandalous reputation, ultimately becoming a major box office success and paving the way for more open portrayals of sexuality in Hollywood cinema. 6. Rome, Open City, 1945, directed by Roberto Rossellini. Rome, Open City is a powerful and controversial film that marked the birth of Italian neorealism. Set during the Nazi occupation of Rome, the film portrayed the harsh realities of war with an unprecedented level of realism. Unlike polished Hollywood productions, it used non-professional actors, real locations, and raw storytelling to depict suffering, resistance, and human resilience. The film shocked audiences with its graphic portrayal of violence, torture, and execution, elements rarely shown so directly at the time. Its unfiltered depiction of life under Aleph Talola challenged traditional cinematic norms and censorship standards, making it both controversial and deeply impactful. Rome, Open City not only redefined filmmaking, but also influenced generations of directors by proving that cinema could reflect real life with honesty and emotional power. 7. Gilda, 1946, directed by Charles Vidor. Gilda became one of the most controversial film noirs of the 1940s due to its bold exploration of sexuality, jealousy, and moral ambiguity. Starring Rita Hayworth in the title role, the film shocked audiences with her provocative performance, especially the famous "Put the Blame on Mame" scene, which pushed the limits of what was acceptable under the Hays Code. The film's themes of toxic relationships, manipulation, and implied bisexual undertones between male characters added to its controversial reputation. Its use of shadowy cinematography, emotionally charged storytelling, and complex character dynamics helped redefine the film noir genre, making Gilda both scandalous and artistically influential. 8. The Best Years of Our Lives, 1946, directed by William Wyler. The Best Years of Our Lives tackled the difficult realities faced by World War II veterans returning home, an issue rarely addressed so honestly at the time. The film follows three veterans struggling with physical injuries, emotional trauma, and reintegration into civilian life. Its most groundbreaking and controversial element was the casting of real-life amputee Harold Russell, who portrayed a disabled sailor dealing with his new reality. The film openly depicted post-war struggles such as unemployment, alcoholism, and broken relationships, challenging the idealized image of returning heroes. Its realistic storytelling, deep emotional impact and sensitive direction pushed Hollywood toward more socially conscious filmmaking, making it a landmark film that resonated deeply with audiences. 9. Msure Verdue, 1947. In Msure Verdue, Charlie Chaplin shocked audiences by abandoning his beloved comedic persona to play a cold, calculating serial killer who marries and murders wealthy women for financial gain. The film was controversial not only for its dark subject matter, but also for its cynical commentary on capitalism and society. Chaplin used satire to compare Verdue's crimes to the larger-scale violence of war, suggesting that society often tolerates mass destruction while condemning individual acts of utila. Released shortly after World War II, the film's tone and message were considered disturbing and unpatriotic by some viewers, especially in the United States. Despite the backlash, the film's bold narrative, moral complexity, and philosophical depth have since earned it recognition as one of Chaplin's most daring and thought-provoking works. 10. Rope, 1948. Directed by Alfred Hitchcock, Rope was a highly experimental and controversial film that pushed the boundaries of storytelling and filmmaking techniques. Inspired by a real-life murder case, the film follows two young men who commit a qatl and then host a dinner party with the victim's body hidden in the room. What made Rope groundbreaking was Hitchcock's attempt to create the illusion of a single continuous shot, using long takes and hidden cuts to maintain real-time tension. The film also stirred controversy due to its subtle exploration of philosophical ideas about superiority and morality, as well as its coded references to homosexuality, an extremely taboo subject under the Hays Code. With its innovative direction, confined setting, and psychological intensity, Rope remains a bold and influential experiment in cinematic history. That brings us to the end of our journey through some of the most controversial and groundbreaking films of the 1940s. From a revolutionary storytelling of Citizen Kane to the bold political satire of The Great Dictator and the experimental brilliance of Rope, these films didn't just entertain. They challenged audiences, broke rules, and reshaped the future of cinema. Each of these masterpieces proved that filmmaking could be daring, thought-provoking, and deeply influential, even in an era of strict censorship and social limitations. That if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating insights into classic cinema and untold Hollywood stories. Let me know in the comments which of these films surprised you the most, or which classic movie you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.